And hello, everyone. How are you doing today? Let me get that up. Hello, Optin. Hello, Augie. Hello, Evoki. See, I'm good. And hello, everyone over on YouTube. What's going on? Did you all have a nice break? I walked. I walked a little bit. I didn't do like a big walk because, sore and all. So I did like a bit of around 2,000 steps. Um, then came home, threw some mulch down on the garden, got a nice little patch done. Then I had lunch, and now I'm back. That was my break. So it happens, right? Hold on, let me grab that. There we go. Augie, it was alright. You did a post office run and had some food. Ah, so productive. And you had food as well, which is very good. I have a very cool looking glass full of Pepsi Max. Seriously though, how neat looking is this glass? I love this glass. It is just so cool looking. It's very crystalline. And because the bits, go inwards like that, it's very easy to hold on to. So, Iwoki, it's fancy. These were actually pretty cheap. They weren't expensive glasses at all. I think we've got like two of these. They were like, oh goodness. I want to say they were like £2 each, something like that, or the equivalent of 150, £2, something like that. I can't remember exactly, but they're really nice little glasses. We had larger ones, but the larger ones were a different brand. They looked similar to this, the larger ones, but they tapered up at the top, and they were super cheap. And you could tell that they were super cheap because the glass was super thin, and they broke very quickly. So, but these are nice thick glass. So, opting £2 is too heavy for a glass. You think? No, we've got two of these. Yeah. My housemate bought them. They're really nice. Iwoki, you had a productive break. You cleaned your bathroom, wiped down the windows with vinegar, so you didn't go for a walk because you were too busy cleaning. And you gently cleaned your drawing desks, so you haven't gotten to draw yet, but progress. I agree. You did lots of cleaning, and now you can draw. You see? So that's the reward at the end of the cleaning. Totally. Augie, it's super fancy. It deserves whiskey to be in it. My whiskey is Pepsi. So, that is what we yeah. I might later on tonight put have more Pepsi in this with a little dollop of Jack Daniels. Maybe. We'll see how we go. We will see how we go. But I am not a huge whiskey drinker. I've tried. I went out and I bought a really expensive whiskey. I mean, for me, it was really expensive. It was like 30 or 40 British pounds for a bottle, which to me is pretty expensive. I think Jack Daniels is expensive. So to spend like 1.5 to 2 times the price of a bottle of Jack Daniels on a bottle of whiskey, to me that's like exorbitant. So, I tried drinking it straight, and I couldn't. I just didn't like it. I did not like it. I ended up giving the rest of it to my housemate's dad, who does enjoy a good whiskey. So Augie, you've got a proper fancy short tumbler that you use for alcohol. Nice. I do agree though, if you drink spirits plain, like on the rocks, getting yourself a really nice fancy glass to drink it in is definitely a must. It's just, especially if it's made for a specific spirit, like if you're a whiskey drinker, get a glass that is specifically for whiskey, because the glass will be made in such a way that it encourages, the smell. It brings the smell and the taste out better. It's amazing what glass blowers can do. Seriously. Absolutely, seriously. Okay, so for those of you who are new here, welcome in. We're cranking up the music, by the way. This morning's music was quite calming, a little bit suspenseful, but very chill. For this afternoon, we've got techno. Okay, so we a complete 180 from ambient to techno. Um, we all need that little bit of energy in the afternoons, right? So that's what we got. That is definitely what we've got. Ewoki, nothing wrong with a little techno for the afternoon. Yeah, get your blood pumping, right? So, like I said, for those of you who are new, or if you need a reminder, this is a work with me stream. We have Sims 4 running in the background, or will once I load up the game, and the house is full of Twitch subscribers and YouTube tier 2 paid members, and that's how you can get your sim into the save. And we have 20 minutes of focus time, followed by 15 minutes of chatting and fun times. We do have quite a bit of simming news to go over, including a news about the Sims Wiki, a hotfix update that's announced for next week, Inzoi, and a little bit of information shared by the Sims Insider. And the Sims Insider is well known for dropping spoilers and stuff, but they have weighed in on Paralives, on how the team is looking forward to, the Sims team is looking forward to Paralives, and how Paralives and Inzoi has impacted The Sims 4. And I'm really interested in reading that bit of what they're sharing, just because, it's interesting to see how developers of different games react to and interact with competition. So those are the things that we're going to be going through, hopefully, by the end of today's stream. Pardon me. We'll see how it goes. Hey, Daniel, how's it going? Glad to see ya. Hold on. Samis loves a lot Daniel. Okay, can I just call you Samis, if you don't mind? Or do you prefer Daniel? Let me know, and I will try to remember. Augie, you put your spirit glass on as a photo in Discord. It's got a thick rim. That is what you want for spirit, like whiskey is a thick rim, so you don't get like all of the. You want to sip your whiskey. You don't want to like gulp it down. Let me see if I can find. I want to take a look at it real quick. Oh, that is very pretty, Augie. I like that. Here, hold on. Let me share that. There we go. There's the image. That is absolutely gorgeous. I love the crystal cut. So pretty. And either is fine. All right, that's great. Thank you for letting me know that, Samis. Appreciate that. Okay, so my friends. Some call you Daniel, some Samis love. Okay. So you're pretty open to basically anything. I'll try to call you Samis, just because that is a first in your name. So, but I really appreciate you letting me know. And Augie, you feel proper posh drinking from that glass. I can believe it. Yeah. All right, my friends. So without any further ado, I do have a busy a busy afternoon ahead of me. I need to finish writing chapter 3 of my book. And after today's stream, I'm planning on going back outside and laying some more mulch in my garden. It's looking really good, by the way. I will take photos once the mulch is all laid out. I'll take some update photos for you all so you can see over in the Discord. And I'll also share it over on Blue Sky for those of you who follow me over there. So let's go ahead. Let's get started with our first focus session. If my fingers will allow me to actually type the proper timer. Thank you there, Augie, for the Discord link. You know what? I don't think I have a command for Blue Sky, but it is below the video on Twitch. It's listed in my socials there, and it's also listed in the links down in the description of all of my YouTube videos. So, but I am Murley Sims over on Blue Sky. It's kind of easy to find me. I've tried to change my name across the board as much as I could to Murley Sims. So search for Murley Sims and you'll find me. Alright, my friends, I'm gonna mute my microphone. We're gonna get our heads down and get 20 minutes of work done, and then I will catch up with you all at the end of the 20 minutes. Let's go. I will, of course, load up the Sims, and since Opting was first, we will go with Opting Sim. There we go. That's it, Augie. Thank you very much. At merelysims.bsky.social. Exactly. Right, let's go. 20 minutes on the clock. I'm gonna try to get as much of this chapter done as I can.
Paralyzed? Sticky sweet.
Girl power, bitches!
Make you paralyzed.
Dag dag.
All right, my friends, that is our first focus session done for the day. I have finished chapter 3 of my book, and like I said at the end of this morning's live stream, I've just found out that I haven't been using the same sizes for my text all the way through the 3 chapters that I've written so far, and it's so annoying. I'm just been going through the pages, and for some of the text, it's 24. The text size is 24. For some other text, it's 23.7. But I started off with a text size of 25.7. So I'm having to go through and make sure that the text is all the same size. And I'm up to like page 40. I'm up to 42 pages in this book. So I'm having to go through all 42 pages and make sure that all of the text is the same size. So chapter text is 36.
No beam.
Section text is 32. You know, like subsections sections in each chapter. Subsections, so sections in a section, should be 28, so 36, 32, 28, and then the text itself should be 25.7. So yeah, I need to make sure that everything is proper. So annoying, but it's fine. I'll get there. I will get there. I want this to look as professional as possible, but since I'm not a professional person, there you go. Right, let's pause the game. Because I did say that we had a lot of work to do. Also, Jeeves, welcome in. And yeah, that is so cute about your son that he said sorry and explained everything that he's learned at nursery about kind hands and kind words. So sweet. Absolutely. And I'm glad that the nursery is teaching him that as well. Very, very nice. I just love little kids. Little kids are awesome. Okay, so let's talk about as soon as let me get into that and then drop that so you can see what I'm looking at, and we'll also go ahead and drop that. Okay, so a little bit of gaming news here. We've got Sims Wiki. So EA and fandom have reached out to the Sims Wiki to help for upcoming releases, which is interesting. So the Sims Wiki is been one of the longest running fan sites within the Sims community. It's been since for ages, years. It's an open source project that's powered by fandom, and fandom, is what makes these fan-based wikis possible. So the Sims Wiki is a really cool website. You can find absolute tons of information about all of the Sims games in this wiki. If you want to know about Sims 4 Aspirations, it's there. If you want to learn about Sims 3, it's there. Seriously, if you want to look up the lore of one character between all of the Sims games, you can find it. It's a lot of digging, but you can find it in the Sims Wiki. It's seriously awesome. And Samis, you work at church ages 3 to 5. You engage kind words and kind hands as well. That is so sweet. It's very important to teach young children, teach kids from an early age all about, being kind to other people. Seriously, it needs to be taught, and kids need to be reminded, because I do feel that once a child reaches like the age of 5 and they go on to like elementary school or primary school, depending on where you're at, schools just kind of drop the whole being nice to others thing, and it needs to be kept up. Kids of all ages need to be reminded. Adults need to be reminded sometimes as well, that we should just be nice to each other. The world would be much better off if we would just all be nice to each other. Augie, time to head out and do school runs. Safe trip, Augie. I hope everyone had a good day at school. Paul is due home. My own son should be home within the next 2 hours. So he doesn't get out until 3, and he doesn't get home until about 4-ish, roughly. So hopefully he's had a good day at college. Well, I'll wait and I'll find out once he gets home. So it's taken EA quite a long time to, or maybe it's taken the Sims team a long time to talk EA into taking notice of this fandom wiki. But EA now wants to become part of this fandom wiki. So EA has allegedly reached out to the fandom community managers through an email, which is very interesting. So a fandom community manager contacted the wiki on the public admin notice board, proposing an official Sims collaboration opportunity for the wiki, which would involve a redesign that's not the best bit. That would involve a redesign, but that's not the best bit. A few days after that, they left messages on a few of the user talk pages for some of the admins regarding a potential connecting with the Sims team at EA. Okay, that's very interesting. So yeah, the wiki's been around for 15 years, and it's taken 15 years for EA to take interest in this wiki. So here's the official opportunity message. Samis, the Sims and Bust Out mode and the Sims Bustin'. Oh yes, you gotta love. I love Sims Bustin' Out. Absolutely awesome game. You've been making Mumlab Grad. Bleh, I can't talk today. You've been making Mumland Grab in The Sims 4. Oh, nice. Have you put it up in the Have you put her in the gallery? Jeeves, EA inserting themselves into fandom stuff can't be good. Yeah, I mean, on one hand, it's kind of exciting. On the other hand, it's like, why after 15 years does EA want to get involved in this? Now, if it was just the Sims team, as in the Sims developers wanting to get involved, that wouldn't raise as many questions for me. But the fact that it's EA wanting to, get involved in this, especially this close to the buyout, is making my eyebrows raise. So the official collaboration opportunity message. I wanted to reach out to you all about a potential opportunity. Our team at Fandom are very excited about collaborating with you all if this is of interest, with some of us being longtime Sim players ourselves. To start, we'd like to offer our assistance with refreshing the wiki main page's theme with prime assets, highlighting an upcoming Sims release while maintaining the wiki's integral directory and identity. Oh. Oh, I see. So, for an example of what this could look like, this is a recent refresh we created in collaboration with the admins from the Diablo wiki. Okay, so here's the Diablo wiki. And yeah, here's the huge Lord of Hatred is the second expansion for Diablo 4. Please buy the second expansion for Diablo 4. Yeah. What would you all think about having a challenge library here on the wiki? There's no real centralized space to find these, as I'm sure you all know, they're all over the place. We've been considering ways to give players a space to easily find new challenges to try. Ideally, challenge creators would post to this library as well as their social media or patrons. Our vision for this is that it would support templated challenges as well as ones created from scratch that are easily searchable with earnable achievements that can be used to customize wiki profiles. This would create the ultimate resource for Sims challenges that can be added to by the community over time. It would also not add to your work burden with the wiki, nor would anyone but the community have jurisdiction over what's in it. Very, very interesting. Jeeves, no, you're still reeling from Diablo 4 being sucky. I take it Diablo 4 isn't very good. I haven't played Diablo since I was in early access for Diablo 3. I like Diablo 3. Diablo 3 was pretty good. Samis, you're working on the Holgoth family. She has no kids, but she's a stepmom. Her husband disappeared. Her husband could only be killed by a cow plant, so did die from one, or either that or he ran off and hid. That is some good story there, Samis. I like it. Jeeves, Diablo 4 is not a bad game, but it's not a great game. Yeah. I know exactly what you mean, yeah. Okay, so this is an EA collaborate going to the Sims wiki admin. This is the fandom that is the company that is behind these fan wikis. they're in the background basically. So this is fandom coming to the admins of the Sims wiki and saying, "Hey, we want to help you with a redesign, and we got a couple of other ideas for you as well." So that's okay. So that's interesting. And now we've got this one connecting with the Sims team at EA message. I wanted to follow up in regards to the recent message I shared on the notice board. The Sims team at EA were interested in getting in contact with the admin team here, and I was hoping to help get y'all connected. With your permission, I'd like to reach out to you via the email attached to your fandom account with the details and see if we can get a Discord call set up with everyone. It would just be an introductory call to get started, and text chat can be used as an alternative for voice. So it looks like, according to this article, that EA is extremely interested in the idea of giving prime assets and material to the Sims Wiki admins. Excuse me. To help highlight upcoming Sims releases. Okay. So I'm thinking that this is probably going to be like similar to the assets that I get as a Sims creator. They give us official assets like DLC cover art, logos, icons, and stuff like that we're allowed to use in our content. So that's probably what they're on about when they're talking about prime assets. So that might be it. And so the article is speculating. It says, or they're interested in helping prepare third-party sources for the new Sims project that they've been working on. Again, yeah. Who knows? Who knows? Then yeah, EA wants to create a centralized Sims 4 challenges hub, which I think would be really cool because right now I've got a Sims 4 challenge hub that I found, but the creator of that doesn't keep it very up to date. But it does contain a lot of challenges. But so having something through the fan wiki that is kept up to date and added to a lot, that makes a lot of sense. And I, for one, would love to see a semi-official Sims 4 challenges hub. That would be pretty cool. That would definitely be pretty cool. All I can say is, as long as EA doesn't start saying, you have to put this in, or you can't add this to the wiki, and as long as they don't interfere, as long as they just give these premium assets like what they give Sims creators and such, like, I would be completely on board with that. That would be pretty cool. Jeeves, so cheap advertising, in other words. Probably. I mean, they're already advertising. But yeah, it would be cool to get, if they could get proper assets instead of ripping, because I know the Sims Wiki. I know that I love the fandom Sims Wiki, but I do know that they rip the assets from from EA's blogs, from the Sims blogs. So getting the full high definition assets, directly from the Sims team would benefit the wiki. So if it's just that, I have no problems with that. That would be very, very useful and very helpful. So would the challenges hub. That would be really nice as well. Samis, sorry, my brain just stopped there. Samis, you wanted to bring in Sims 4, so you have to do your research. So, funny start off with Sims and Mumland Grab. It was the first play of the Sims that you have. Oh, wow. You've got the original Sims discs. That's awesome. That is seriously cool. There's a Sims 4 challenge tracker mod you think still in early access? Yes. That is, I actually have it. Right here. Well, you can't really see it. Hold on. Let me move my camera. There we go. So this right here is directly, this is made with Semantically's Sims Challenge mod, and you basically set up whatever challenge you want. I'm doing 120 years a decade legacy challenge, and once you've set it up, you put it in your mods folder. It gives you a script to put in your mods folder, and you just add it in. And to start it, you click this button here, and there's the whole rules right here that you type in yourself. This is great. This is absolutely fantastic. I really like this. So yeah, it is a good mod. A really good mod. Unfortunately, it is in early access, so you have to pay Somatically over on Patreon to get access to it. But it is still pretty cool. Opting, how come there isn't a wiki dedicated to both Sims 4 and Little Sims the Rapper? Surely there's a Venn diagram of fans. I mean, possibly. You would think so, right? You would think so. Let me drop my camera back down. There we go. I mean, I think if you go on the official Wikipedia, there might be a mention of Little Sims or or Little Simsy, because Little Sims the rapper. Then you got Little Simsy the YouTuber and streamer, and then you've got and then you have The Sims, which is the game. It's not confusing in the slightest, is it? Not confusing at all. No, definitely not. I don't think it's confusing anyway. All right, my friends, we are out of time. We have finished our break, so let's get that timer started. 20 minutes on the clock. I'm going to mute my microphone, turn up the music, unpause the Sims, and let's get to work. I'll catch up with you all in 20.
Chevin Durkeen. The new Godoy. Archie? Yes! Bird a tree big noosh. Neat, neat. Ferne Glover. Curry, Ralph, Illinois. Yeah! Skuno? Neat. Oh. What? Whoa! Big naps. Huh? Whoop. Smack-frika. Wetzel. Waste. Oh, yes. Huh? Whoa! Phew. Oh, get up! Oh, Wetzel. Yes.
Levitate, whispers. Shebeen, use, freedom. Dezoid body,
Moochie Peachy. Kribixta. Sir. Norwal Grob. Oh, Peach. Moochie Peachy. Kribixta. Sir. Roby, Freen! Oh! Larkham Urch! Ah! Oh, that's annoying. Oh. Oh. Gibbs. Ooh, see, hey, Nirma. Nina? Barine. Danae Swobes. Oh, Frida. Ugh. Negena. Ni kwasa. Temple Peluche. Usha Kapoor. Obisha. Free Bono. Nina Planar. Oh, Jarbin Decor. Hey, Susu. Ah, Murph. Oh, oh, oh. Ah.
All right, my friends, that is our next
Linda.
break, or our next break started. Sorry, our focus session finished. Our next break started. Words. Who needs them, right? I am currently up to page 30 of changing fonts. I will get there. I will get there. I'm very close. I am actually starting going through chapter 3. So yeah, I'm getting there. Opting, I don't want to focus on words, not during the break portion. I mean, exactly, right? Exactly. Why would we want to focus on words while we're taking a break? That's just silly. Absolutely ridiculous even. Okay, so Sean is still not okay, still afraid of the cow plant. Can we milk that one, please, Sean? I'm really trying to get you to get over your fear of the cow plant. Oh. Sean, you're not helping things. Trying to get Sean to milk the cow plant, and what does he do? He gets eaten by the cow plant.
Oh, Reba.
I mean, you know, honestly. Jeez, especially not. Yeah, you really don't want to focus on words when you're writing a book. Exactly. Exactly. I'll 100% agree with you on that. Totally. Okay. So, my friends, let's pause the game. Let's get into our next bit of news. Let's drop that down. Let's drop that down. Give you a little sneak peek there of what I'm working on in my book. And here we are, Sims hotfix update. So this is a quality of life update that's on its way. Across both computers and consoles. So the Sims Direct team, hold on, is this actually, okay, so this is directly from the Sims. I prefer going to their posts as opposed to, you know, someone else's posts. So we've got, well, that's not right. Okay, fine. It's fine. Okay, so, the Sims team have said they're currently testing fixes for recently reported Create a Sim, eyedropper tool, and controller scrolling issues. They hope to release these in a small base game update across all platforms sometime in this week. And they said that they're tracking the soft locking for tattoos in the gallery for consoles. So, okay, that's cool. Let me see if I can find the actual source of this one. So let's see. Sims News. Let's see if they actually have... No, there's nothing on the Sims 4 news and updates. Let me check laundry list. No, nothing there. And nothing in this. Might be over on the forums. So, or on the Discord, rather. So let's see if I can find the Discord. Here it is. Sims Direct. Ah, yes. That's the base game update. That's the mods. And that's the okay. So I'm not quite sure where this whoops, not that one, where this news is coming from. But in any event, expect a hotfix update for The Sims 4 at some point within this week or next, depending on when they're actually able to get it out. Phrasing. There you go. I mean, I just updated all my mods, so I'm hoping that this hotfix doesn't, it doesn't hurt things too much, but I'm sure it'll be fine. So let's talk about the Sims Insider. And hold on just a second. Let me take that over there. Okay. So there's a Sims Insider over on a specific forum, and they've been kind of like dropping insider information about The Sims, multiple Sims games, mostly The Sims 4, and stuff that they've actually been told stop talking about certain things. But they have said that says they've heard some vague information that a certain project is running heavy performance-wise, and EA is concerned that it might be too heavy for the target audience, and the teams are working together to keep it in mind as they continue development. So they're talking about Project Renee on this, which is supposed to be a mobile game. So, yeah. I'm not super interested in that, to be honest with you, though. But this bit here is kind of interesting. I've heard some people within the Sims teams are very excited for the Paralives launch, and hope that it's successful after Inzoi failed to attract any kind of audience to really give EA any pressure to compete. So there you go. Inzoi, I hate to say it, Inzoi is very, very niche. It's made by made and developed by Crafton, and it is a very heavy generative AI, which I don't like. There is, there's nothing wrong with using generative AI as a tool, but Crafton are using it as a replacement for developers, which is, in my opinion, a huge no-no. So as soon as I learned that that's what they were doing, I dropped Inzoi, and a lot of Simmers dropped Inzoi for that same reason. And they're not really a viable competitor for The Sims 4. Because of that, they have lost a huge amount of players. Just because of their stance on AI. So that's that tie-in there, So if anything, Inzoi seems to bring more people to The Sims 4 as as opposed to taking players away from The Sims. So people on the Sims team are hoping Paralives can be that product that makes EA rethink its strategy and the framework they tested with Royalty and Legacy, which is repurposing existing content when possible. So yeah, if you noticed with Royalty and Legacy, a lot of stuff in Royalty and Legacy are repurposed content. So they've taken things from base game and other DLC and reskinned them basically to make new furniture. They've done this in the past with animations. So for like Sulani, you can do beachcombing in the sand to find shells and collectibles. And that same animation was reused in Werewolves and the the in-a-screen fairy pack as well recently with the searching on the ground for things. That and there's been loads of other animations that have been repurposed, which is, in my opinion, kind of smart, but at the same time lazy on EA's part, because EA doesn't want to pay the developers to come up, to animate different animations, or they don't want to pay the artists and designers for the time to come up with new designs. So they're forcing them to reuse and repurpose existing assets, which, yeah, a bit horrible there. So then using kits or other contents to make it a more attractive and larger package. So yeah, there you go. That's another thing that they've been doing recently, is taking stuff that would look good with, like, for example, we got the Royalty and Legacy pack and the Bridgerton kits. Bridgerton kits and the Royalty and Legacy pack go really, really well together. As they were designed to. And yeah, it's all in a bid by EA to try to get people to buy more and more and more and more DLC. It is a horrible practice. It is scummy. I do not approve. No matter how much I love The Sims, I do not approve of EA's practices. But the fact that so many people developers in the Sims team are excited for the Paralives launch and are hoping that it makes EA rethink their strategies, that would be absolutely fantastic. I definitely would be all for that. The insider goes on to say, Paralyzed has a job to do in the eyes of certain people. We'll see how it all goes. So yeah, that's... That is 100%. I am hoping that that's what happens. That would be really, really cool. We definitely need a good competitor for The Sims 4. Inzoi is a competitor, but it's not a good competitor. It's extremely niche. It is more popular over in South Korea, Japan, and China than it is over here in the West. And because it's so AI heavy, generative AI heavy, it's a lot of simmers are just like, yeah, no, not having anything to do with it. And the fact also that it needs a super beefy computer in order to run. Just puts loads of people off of it, to be completely honest. Me included. It barely runs on my computer. My computer barely meets its minimum specs for Inzoi. So it's like minimum spec on one thing and between minimum and recommended on everything else. And I have a good computer. My computer, it's not top of the line, but it's not a potato either. And the fact that my computer struggles to run Inzoi, that should tell you something. But yeah, I for one, super, super excited. And really, really hoping that that Paralives gives The Sims 4 that competition that it needs. Samis, you've got a gaming laptop. Nice. Are you going to be getting Paralives when it releases? I do have, for those of you who might be wondering if your computer can run this Paralives when it comes out, give me just a second and I will get the link for you, because I do have a video up on YouTube specifically, that specifically covers that. So let me just grab that link for you all. There we go. I will put the link in the chat on both YouTube and Twitch. So yeah, if any of you are wondering if your computer or laptop will be able to run Paralives when it's released next week, click through that video and I run through every single spec. I also compare it to the Sims 4 specs so that you get a better idea of what of why the specs are so much higher than they are for the Sims 4. Woo, breathe, Mirror, breathe. Simis, you don't know you're struggling with bills. Aren't we all, my friend? Aren't we all? I can tell you that the devs have confirmed that Paralives is going to have a 10% discount. So it's going to cost about $40 US for early access. But for the first, I want to say for the first week of after release, they're giving they're putting it at a 10% discount. So instead of $40 US, it will cost $36 US ish, if I'm doing my maths correctly. So that at least softens the price blow a little bit there. There are birds fighting outside. or fighting in inverted commas, yeah, who knows, but anyway, my friends, it is time for our next focus session. Let's get working. I will set the timer for 20 minutes. If you are new here, welcome in. This is a Work With Me live stream. 20 minutes on the clock for our focus sessions, and I will catch up with you all after our focus session, where we will go into gaming news and chatting for 15 minutes. Anyway, let's get to work. I've got the remainder of my first 3 chapters to reformat. I'll get the Sims running, and like I said, I'll catch up with you all in 20 minutes.
Bee-bop-a-boo. Seraphine, fire market, inspiration, within the bay, too late fashion, regime freedom, Ravi, Bashan, Simone, and Arrow, even Jason, fans of the mind, Moby, let's see your ball job, you know, you're from sure, Bobby Seawood. And Bobby's Renoy, Emani Shore, Peru, Vivanesa, Wow, Alfonso, Nebula Brimble, Koyashua, Wow, and Robbie Zero, Illinois, Sue,
Oh, lava!
Ho, ho, ho.
Oh, get up! George Corzini Saquinario. Moochie Peachy. Bigsta. Sir.
All right, my friends, that is our final. Um, yeah, that's our final focus session for today. How have you all gotten along? You've been doing okay. I finished chapter 3, section 4 of my book, and I have finished formatting all of the text. So now it follows a specific setting where we've got the chapter heading on is 38, The sections of each chapter are text size 36. The subsections are 32. And then if I have any subsections, they're 28. And then we've got the actual text at 25.7. So I need to make a note of that. I really should. That's actually a good idea. I'll go into, where is it? There it is. Canva. Go into Canva, and Canva's got this really neat feature where you can add a comment. So I will add a comment and make sure that that is perfectly fine. So now all I have to do is, if I ever need reminding of what size each text needs to be, I can just look at the comment. It makes a bit of sense, right? I think it does. Opting 25-point text, that's inflation for you. I know, right? 25.7 to be exact. I don't know why I started it off at 25.7, but because I did, because I started it off at 25.7, then I kind of want to keep it at 25.7 for the entire book, for the main text, you know? It's just how my brain works. The only, oh, excuse me. Ugh. The only problem with Canva is I can't go through and say, right, change all of the text all at once. You know, change everything to 25.7. Change only the headings to this size. Change, you know, and so on. I can't tell it to do that, which is a little bit of an annoyance, but it's fine. I'm sure. It'll be fine. Maybe. We'll see. I think it's looking fairly decent though, if I do say so myself. I'm rather proud of what I've accomplished so far in this book. It's looking good, basically. I mean, it's not like the most professional looking book that I've ever seen, but it's a lot better than like a hodgepodge of notes, you know? Okay, that's oh crap. Control Z. Control Z. There we go. So I'm just like, oh, I'll just quickly, you know, make all of this look better. No, this one page, no. I've messed up this one. It's fine. It's absolutely fine. I'm just gonna stop messing around with things before I completely mess up this book. Opting, why does Rob Bobson sometimes go through walls and sometimes use doors? I like to think it's because, you know, they're like, when they go through walls, that's when they remember that they're a ghost, and when they actually use doors, you know, that's when they forget and think that they're still alive. That is my headcanon, and that is what I'm sticking with. And why is he making so many drinks? What even is he doing? He's making a lot of drinks. Sea Splash, Juice on the Rocks, Ridgeport, Salty Llama, and Fizzy Fruity Drink. Is he like making drinks for everyone? Is he trying to have a little bit of a party? I mean, that wouldn't surprise me. You know what? I'm gonna make everyone have a drink. Fleur, why don't you grab a drink? Grab that drink. There you go. Opting, you can have the Juice on the Rocks. Augie can have the Salty Llama. And Sean can have the Ridgeport. There we go. Everyone gets a drink, except for Muir, because there aren't enough drinks to go around.
Needs your duvet.
Jeeves, that sounds about right, and often that actually makes a lot of sense. Jeeves, Rob loves making drinks because he likes making drinks in basemental mods. Okay, that makes sense. That does make sense. His favorite is Long Island iced tea. I mean, who wouldn't like Long Island iced tea, you know? Also, hi Mouse Nuts, how you doing? You alright? Glad to see ya. I'm gonna let Muir drink the Granny Smash. I have no idea what a Granny Smash is, but I'm guessing it's like some sort of sour apple cocktail. That's what I'm thinking. A green sour apple cocktail. Again, you know, headcanon. Right, we're gonna sell that. We're gonna have Cody come over here and sell that. We gotta do, ooh, that's a masterpiece. Do we have the carrot? Do we? Yes, we do. Okay, never mind. Rob, I'll let you sell that. This one needs to be finished, so we'll let Rob do that. This computer needs fixing, so we'll insta repair that. You know, I'm beginning to think that the reason why everyone is stinky, and needing the loo is because all of these all of these gnomes are kind of in the way. Oh no, Opting's proven me wrong there. Is that Opting or is that Augie? No, it's Opting. Ha, I was right. For the first time in my life, I got the two. I didn't confuse the two. Mouse not doing bad. Glad to hear it. I'm alright, thanks. It's a Monday. Oh, excuse me. It's a Monday afternoon, which means I'm tired, but I'll live, you know? I've got lots of mulching to do out in the garden. So for those of you who haven't, you know, heard me talk about the garden, last week on Thursday, to be exact, we had we had landscapers come round and they completely just decimated the front garden. Complete level. They took out all of the plants except for a few, which we asked them to keep. You know, like there's a Christmas tree, an evergreen, you know, tree that my housemate wanted to keep. We wanted to keep the side hedges that separates us from our neighbors. Mainly because there's blackberries in there, and Paul loves blackberries, so I kind of wanted to keep them. And they, in the side garden, they took out the hedges, and they took all of the, I'm not sure what plant they are, but some kind of plant that, was causing shoots to pop up in the side, you know, in the all over the place in the side garden. They took all of that out. They left a lilac tree, though, at my request, because I love lilac. And it was a huge lilac tree. I mean, that thing's, like, massive. So, yeah, they've kept that as well. But they got rid of everything else, including the grass. They just, like, all the grass is gone. So, Friday and Saturday, I spent all day, both days, doing garden work. I planted plants, I put mulch down, covering the bare dirt, and I still have a lot of mulch to put down, because they mulched all the plants, that they took out of the garden. They mulched down, put it in a huge pile for us, and we've gone through about a little over half of the mulch. I still need to put the rest of the mulch down on the ground. But we're getting there. We are getting there. We're a lot farther now than we were 2 days ago. But I am so sore because of it. Absolutely, just my lower back and thighs are in agony. But it's absolutely fine. Opting, because if I got it right, you know I've done something wrong. I don't deserve that slap. Harumph, I say. Harumph. Zemise, you'll have to see how this month goes. 2 months close getting you evicted. Yeah, oh, definitely. Your rent is a lot more important than buying a game. 100%. Mouse Nuts, Mousy and you have taken on an allotment. Oh yeah, you mentioned that. So you spent Saturday afternoon digging out 3 raspberry bushes and an apple tree. The only issue is you need Elmer Fudd to deal with multiple Bugs Bunnies. Aww. Also known as you'll put a fence up. So the fence is going to be called Elmer Fudd. I mean, calling a fence Elmer is absolutely fine in my books. I don't see anything wrong with that. Just I can see you say, why don't we use Elmer as a trellis for these peas, Because that would be absolutely hilarious. But we've got lots of plants in the front garden now and the side garden. We've got lavender, lupins, foxglove, a few plants that I cannot remember the name of, but they looked really pretty when I was choosing them. A lot of ground cover, quite a few different varieties of ground cover that I've bought and planted. There's also some, it's a hedge, and the flowers look like a miniature lilac. And I cannot remember what the hedge is called, but it grows up to be about 5 foot tall, 4 feet wide. So I'm going to be training it once it grows. I've got one. I need another, like, 2 of them. So 2 or 3 of them. So I'm definitely going to have to go back to the garden center to get more. But they're really pretty. I have no idea what they're called. But they look like lilac and they smell like lilac. So I'm calling them like a miniature lilac bush, Very, very pretty. Samis, mulch helps to prevent weeds growing up. Yes, exactly. That's why I asked the landscapers to leave all of the chips, the mulch down trees and bushes and stuff. So they got a chipper and they just piled it all up in a corner, and I've been trying to go through it. It's gonna take a few days, but I think I'll get there. I also ordered like 100 British pounds worth of more ground cover and more flowers. I don't know where I'm gonna put them all, but I will find room. I guarantee that I will find room. I also want to. It's like I'm gonna end up spending like 2 or 3 grand on this garden, on the side and front gardens, because I want, for the front garden, I want a water feature, and I found the one that I want. It's huge, of course, but it's really nice looking, and you can hear the water as it cycles up and around. It's mains powered, which is a downside. I could get a smaller solar paneled version that doesn't cost as much, but it's nowhere near as loud or as pretty. And I want to hear the water, I just want to hear the water. So yeah, we're gonna get that up and running. I want a seat so that I can, like a little bench, so that I can place that near the water feature, so that if I want to sit near the water feature, I can sit on the bench. Or if I want to like sit on next, if I want a fire going, I can sit in my egg chair, which is going to go in the side garden. So I've got a lot of plans for this garden, and I'm just hoping that all of the plants I plant survive. I know that some of them will die, but I'm hoping that they're spaced out enough so that, the ones that do die will, that space will be taken over by other plants. I'm sure it'll look absolutely beautiful when it's all established and the plants are fully grown. I just, part of me wants to, like, fast forward time to see what it's all gonna look like. It looks good in my head, though, and that's what counts right now, right? That's what counts. In my brain, that is exactly what counts. Right then, my friends, we are going to have to wind down because my son is due home from college any minute now. So, Samis, boiled egg water is good for watering plants. Okay. See, I use my coffee grounds. So I have a cafetiere or a French press, whatever, however you want to call it, and I use the grounds from from the cafeteria. I add a little bit of water to the French press, swirl it around, and then dump the whole thing to water a plant. Because I've heard that I know that eggshells are good for soil, and I've heard that coffee grounds are good as well. So anytime I get eggshells, I crunch them up into little bits and put them around one of my potted plants indoors. And then I also use the coffee grounds to water my indoor plants. The outdoor plants, they're just going to have to fend for themselves, you know? Although I might get some Miracle Grow and like attach it to the hose and give them a good watering on the next couple of dry days, because it's supposed to rain today. It's been raining off and on all weekend as well, which was loads of fun planting all the plants. Absolutely loads of fun. The Samis coffee grounds are good too, yeah. Opting, we clearly fast forwarded time for this stream. No way that was 2 hours. It was 2 hours and 6 minutes to be exact, Opting. I mean, not exact, but you know, fairly exact. But anyway, my friends, we are going to have to go because, like I said, my son is due back from college at any minute, and he will burst in here and he will talk about Furbies, and he will demand emotion faces. So I will see you all tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. UK time. 10 a.m. UK time. 8 a.m. is when I wake up. I will see you all here at 10 a.m. UK time. And again at 2 p.m. UK time. Remember, our daytime streams go for 2 hours at a time. So we go from 10 to noon UK time, take a 2-hour break, and then go from 2 to 4 p.m. But anyway, my friends, until then, please stay hydrated, stay safe, have a wonderful rest of your day, and thank you all so much for being here. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.